All right, we are here with JP. The man JP is here. And you're here for a workshop today. We're happy about that. Got some people coming, and that's going to be fun.
I'm always happy to be here.
And as is usually the case, if you're here, I'm always finding something for you to do.
Yes.
So I'm going to surprise you with something.
Okay.
You don't even know what I'm going to ask you to do.
All right.
You did see I put 2 guitars out there.
I see these, yes.
So let me mention something about the guitars. They're the new Bluegrass Bell. I say new to us because it's a new model for us. We took a 1937 D18 forward shifted X brace system, patterned after that, a torrefied top. The other thing that we did that's different is the square headstock.
Yeah.
And you know this, people can be so funny about what they like and don't like with guitars. So a man came in just the other day and he's looking around and says, "Oh, I love that square headstock." Now he's a big Gallagher fan, but he's like, "I just love that. When I see that, I think guitar."
Yeah.
And then later that day on a social media post, someone was really giving me a hard time because it was a square headstock.
Yeah.
So people have opinions, and that's okay. We have choices.
Yeah.
But we felt like this added something new to what we were doing.
Yeah.
So we have mahogany,
Yes.
East Indian rosewood, and Madagascar. So we have mahogany here.
Yes.
And we have Madagascar over there. Mm-hmm. Now what I'm going to ask you to do is to do a comparison of the two. Because it's not that one is better than the other, one is right, one is wrong. They offer something different.
Yeah.
And I'm genuinely curious about your thoughts about that. So does that sound okay?
It sounds great. So
Okay.
I have to say, we start this out by just my own experience with these tonewoods. I'm a huge mahogany fan.
Yeah.
I love mahogany because of my own playing style requires me to have a little more brilliance than just rosewood. But Madagascar is my favorite of all the rosewoods because it has brilliance.
Okay.
It's not as dark and muddy as Indian or Brazilian. Like, I find Brazilian actually to be brittle. I don't like Brazilian. As many people go crazy over Brazilian.
And I always like Brazilian.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of it.
Yeah, but when you hear something, a different rosewood up against Brazilian, you hear it, you go, whoa, there's some harsh midtones in the Brazilian that don't exist in the Madagascar, right? So I would start with this mahogany, because I know I don't even have to guess what this will sound like.
Okay, but we still want you to.
Plus it's a Gallagher, so double whammy, right? And I should also mention too, an interesting point. Been asked several times, why don't you tune that thing before you start? There's a good reason for that.
Okay.
I want to see how the guitar tempers. If it takes me a long time to temper it so it's in tune everywhere, that speaks to the quality of the guitar, right? And if it doesn't take any time, then she's built right. First try. Didn't even, just by ear, and it's done. Huge. It's absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. And that's the thing about this one immediately is it sounds really old. It doesn't sound like a new guitar. It sounds like it's already been played for 50 years. Yeah. It has that deadness in the projection that's all wood and all age, right? But it has that beautiful mahogany top. Hear the growl? Masterpiece, this guitar.
That would have no trouble being in a jam session, would it?
No, and frankly, it would have no problem like being in my show. This is the type of sound that I go for from any guitar. It has to have at least 8 out of 10 of these qualities. You know, that sort of feeling. You can get by with your list being not quite fulfilled when the guitar is special, right? But like this thing, and plus the reason it's the bracing and the torrefaction.
It is.
Makes a huge amount of difference in this, and it's a beautiful piece of mahogany. And I am actually very shocked that you chose this profile.
Yeah, well, again, trying to be true to the 37, it had a V-neck.
Not only a V-neck, this is a seamed V-neck. You can feel the seam all the way down to the lute.
Yeah, very intentional.
It feels really cool. Yeah. It doesn't hurt your hand, but you feel it back there. Some of the old, really intensely V'd necks are painful for me.
Too pronounced.
Yeah. And it seems to almost shrink as you go up because of that profile.
Well, you're going to see Noah tomorrow. He'd be real happy to hear you compliment that.
It's a beautiful neck profile. Okay, so there's the mahogany.
So now I'm really curious about the Madagascar.
I'll give it a 9 out of 10. I can't give you a 10.
We'll take it.
Not on camera. Okay, so this is the Madagascar. Another reason I love it is because it's prettier than Indian. And I think sometimes it's prettier than Brazilian. Look at all these anomalies are just gorgeous.
Yeah, it's got some figure to it. It's not overstated.
Same top.
Same top.
Same bracing. I can tell you without even playing this is going to be louder than mahogany generally. They are. No, it's the same. That's wild. She's dead on. Amazingly, they're very similar.
You know,
except this one is darker. It has again the reason I love Madagascar. It has the fat of rosewood with the top end of that, right? And as a guy that plays multiple styles, this is the perfect guitar for you, perfect dreadnought for you, right? Because it can do anything. Play big rhythm with it. That's how good your neck is. Usually when you drop a D string, the B string goes sharp. This one doesn't. It means that neck is in there right. It just has all that. It has all the qualities of the mahogany plus a bit more color in the bottom, which is amazing that they're so closely related.
But very different sounds to me.
Yeah.
The mahogany's a little shinier or brighter in some ways.
It is, yeah.
Well, you said that about the Madagascar. It's got a darker tone.
Yeah, I thought this would be louder, but it's not. It's the same. They're the same volume.
I know.
Which is really interesting too, because normally there's a deficit in mahogany for volume, but not this. That thing's really loud, and so is this. And the neck width is perfect. It's got a lot of space. It feels bigger than 1 3/4. But it's not, is it?
No.
Yeah, it feels the way the neck is set up. It feels like there's a ton of room.
Well, let me mention one other thing. We had a gentleman come by, and he played both of those. And well, he first started with the Madagascar, and personally, I'm kind of drawn toward the mahogany. So he was bragging on it, and I was like, "Oh, let him play this one and see what he says."
Yeah.
And he just played a little on it and looked up and says, "Yeah, I really like that Madagascar."
Yeah.
So it's not that there's one that's better than the other. People have what they're looking for from the guitar as well.
Yeah. The fact of the matter is, and I don't mean this in an insulting way at all, but 99% of average guitar players don't hear guitar the same way as someone like you that builds them, or someone like me that's all I've listened to for 50 years is a guitar in front of me. I hear things in the instrument that other people it's not that they aren't able to, it's that they don't have to play it enough or long enough to have experienced bad guitars as much. See, that's the other thing. A lot of people now, unless they're my age or older, who play, the young people that play, they've never seen a bad guitar.
That's so true.
Right? Like, that's true.
Think about the early ones I had.
Yeah, think about my first guitar was a Dana. It was a Sears catalog guitar that cost $50. My next guitar was a Mansfield, which is another Chinese instrument that cost $169. And then my first real good guitar, which was not a good guitar either, was a Suzuki. And guess what it was? It was a copy of a Gallagher.
Really?
It had the French curl headstock.
Is that why you got it? I'm just curious. Okay, all right.
And it was given to me.
Yeah.
A lady had it, and I played it, and I was almost in tears. I had no. She said, "Why don't you just take that home with you?" And I made my first album with that guitar.
Okay.
So I mean, I've experienced for the first, I don't know, probably 20 years of my playing life. You know, from 5 to 25, maybe even beyond 27, before I actually bought a guitar that cost more than $1,000. So that in itself gives you this appreciation. So the wisdom, I think, is sometimes you can't hear something because you didn't know it was missing.
Right. That's so true.
That's the key. Yeah. And when you play a guitar like this, or a Boucher, or a Collins, or like that are built by master craftsmen, that's when you go, wait.
You can hear in ways you hadn't heard before.
That's right. You hear the missing parts and you go, oh.
Yeah.
And then it comes down to also, all of your guitars have their own spirit, right? Yeah. There's a piece of you in them.
Right.
But they also come to life as a living thing, and there's a personality and a spirit in them. And when you pick them up, that spirit gets matched to the right person, right? The same way that all the Gallaghers I had to have them. When I played them, I was just like, "This, I got to take this home. This is my guitar." And it is so it's fascinating.
Yeah.
But I think this is a fantastic direction. The whole Bluegrass Bell concept is awesome because it draws, you know, a lot of the things about Gallagher is that it's such a, it's a boutique name and a boutique model and a museum quality instrument that you picture in the hands of Doc, and you picture in the hands of Neil Diamond and Waylon Jennings, and you see them as like, that's unattainable, right?
Yeah.
And something about doing that with a square headstock and saying, this isn't just for Black Mountain Rag anymore.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's for, if you want to play Blue Moon in Kentucky and rip rhythm on this for 4 hours a night, this is the guitar, right?
Yeah. Well, we named it the Bluegrass Bell, Bell. And some people are like, you mean Belle?
No.
Like that kind of bell? No.
No.
And you know
Rings like a bell.
why it's
Rings like a
Bluegrass
bell.
Bell?
Oh yeah.
Do you know why it's Bell?
Yeah.
B-E-L-L?
Because it rings like a bell.
Rings like a bell. Yeah.
Perfect.
So, yeah.
It's a play on
fits
words
for us.
It's a double play on words because Tennessee, that's where all the southern bells are supposed to be.
Yes.
LLE, right? And here we are with the Bluegrass Bell.
Yeah.
Dong.
Yeah.
Makes perfect sense.
Well, thanks for that review. I appreciate your thoughts about it. You want to close us out with a G run?
Yeah,
Of course.
I'll do more than that. I'll go back to this mahogany because it's a smoker too. I love the way this sounds.
Thanks so much.
Good job, David.
Thank
Awesome.
you.